when he was in Klay Thompson when they were young, with Vucevic, Tobias Harris, Oladipo when he was in Orlando, and certainly you look at the MVP season that Jokic had, and Jokic was begging him not to leave Denver. You know, the players, Jamal Murray, all the different players that he touched there, and certainly it's a collaborative group. But when players call you to tell you about you should hire this guy unsolicited, that's pretty impressive to me. And I can't say enough about the background that we did on everybody that we interviewed with, but as we kept laying out our process and what we really wanted from our head coach, just all the roads kind of led back to Wes Jr. Very excited to have him here.
Again, I interviewed about 20 people from different gender, different race, international. It was an exhaustive process.
That was very diverse and very inclusive intentionally. You know, when we started this process, we set out to find the very best person. And we interviewed former players, former head coaches, people from the WNBA, people from the NBA, from years ago, people that are current assistants, former players, every category you could possibly want, because we wanted that diversity of ideas and inclusion of everyone. But again, as you go through this process, you can interview a lot of people, but sometimes, as they say, the cream rises, and this is really where we ended up, where we landed on. It was a tremendous opportunity for us, and I just think that for where our team is and where we're headed to, Wes is the perfect leader for that team.
Well, Wes, you have always had me at hello, but obviously you had to convince Tommy and Ted. What were some of the things that you brought up, your vision, as you sold yourself, as you wanted to come back home and be the head coach of this team?
Well, I mean, we touched on it. The defensive side of the ball has been an issue here, and that's an area where I've been charged with for the past 5 seasons, and we've seen marketable improvement in that area. And it boils down to buy-in and commitment, and I think all parties involved, including the players, they know for us to take that next step to really get to the level in which we think we can attain, it's going to take that commitment to that side of the ball.
And again, Ted, as you make this an attractive destination, it should be pointed out the commitment the ownership group is trying to foster to attract someone like Wes Unseld Jr. or the players to the franchise.
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that in the process, we did talk to a lot of people. I'm extroverted. I think it's a good thing to get lots of input and hear lots of voices. And it's also a way for us to reintroduce the organization throughout the league. And what I'll say is that the NBA is in great hands. Every single person that we met and talked to was outstanding. And you've seen that a lot of assistant coaches are taking the next step, especially this summer. And I think there's a reason for that. This is a very demanding job. And sometimes when you're a head coach and a second and third time head coach, I don't think you work as hard. I think you rely on your assistant coaches. And what I found with the interviews, and especially in talking with Wes, how they do the game planning. They know the players, they know the tendencies, and they have to work really hard to prepare for each and every game. And I looked at our team, and there were times when I thought we lost games that we shouldn't have. Yes, defensively, but I just think having a work ethic and a demanding style will be a really good point of differentiation for us. The players all in the exit interviews, when we talked to them about what we were lacking and how we can improve, they talked about the little things. They talked about defensive intensity. They talked about communications. When we talked to Wes, like what's the key to better defense? It's hard work, game planning, communications, and we watched some film together. It was really fascinating in talking to the assistant coaches, the eye on detail, where everyone is positioned on the floor, and what they were doing right, what they were doing wrong. And that's what we want to be known for. We'd like to have great talent, but you'd like to have a great organization that's very professional, very thorough, and demands the best out of everyone in the organization.
And Tim mentions organization. Wes, the NBA continues to improve and rise. perspective now as you come home and there's a dedicated practice facility. You know, I know you're one that likes to collaborate, and it is now about a collaborative effort. One person doesn't have the solution, and that infrastructure exists with this franchise. Some of your thoughts just as you come back to the Wizards and what you see the commitment is.
Well, I just think there's tremendous potential here. Aside from the roster, the alignment between these two gentlemen on my right and left, their respective staffs, I think the shared and collaborative resources that have been laid out. I've had the opportunity to meet with some of those department heads, and just to see how their visions are aligned with mine. And obviously, it's all geared to winning, but there's a plan behind it. So you feel really comfortable in this seat, knowing that you have such a support system, a wide net of people who are not only competent but extremely gracious with their time, and we're all pulling in the same direction.
Tommy, again, you kind of touched on this, but to see Wes in this position next to you, ready to guide us this season, from where you remember him working with us, is how many jobs did you? I think the only job you didn't have was radio announcer, but I'm hanging on to that. But just some of your thoughts on the growth that you've witnessed firsthand.
You know, in the NBA, I think you almost call them DVR relationships sometimes. We worked together, and then he left and went to other places, and we'd catch up, and we were always friendly. But, you're in your own world when you're working for an NBA franchise. So getting to re-know Wes through this process in terms of where he was as a coach was very important, because you really were about.
All right, folks. We're here, as you guys saw from some of the clip from today's introductory presser for Wes Unseld Jr., who's the new head coach of the Washington Wizards. You got Raymond Lyons, Cardo Dudley, and Wilson Tarpley Jr. And welcome to today. We're just going to discuss today's presser. Cardo sat in on it. So, Cardo, the floor is yours. We just want to share what you took from it. And also, follow the Focus TV on Twitter. Usually any type of presser going on, you guys will see some quotes from it as it's happening live.
What I took from it is the defense. It's coming over the defense. He's a big. Got to buy in. I mean, we all know it. The perfect strategy, but the players don't buy in. It's not good. It's gonna come from it. You know what I mean? So that's his emphasis. He's fully aware of the roster. You know what I mean? He said he already had a conversation with Brad Beal and Russell Westbrook about what they feel needs to be done moving forward, and the key and certain guys, what wasn't done last season, what would they like to see moving forward. He talked about Denny. You know what I mean? He said he has a word of potential with his versatility, but he said he's gonna have to improve defensively. You know what I mean? Rui. Obviously Rui's playing in the Olympics for Japan. And, he said at time he sent up some clips, and, he's playing with utmost confidence, man. You know what I mean? So he's ready to rock and roll. And he said Brad and Russ definitely mentioned to him that Denny and Rui will be key with whatever they do this summer moving into next season for the Wizards and how far they go. You know what I mean? I just think he's paid his dues, man. He's been in I say the trenches in the front office for 24 years. He talked about when he graduated college, the plan was to take a year off and again to go into grad school. But that itch, man. You played basketball before, that itch never really goes away. So he wanted to get back in basketball. Obviously, his pops was with the Wizards, were Bullets at the time and whatnot. So he gave him a job as an intern, and he said his father worked him like a dog. And from that point as an intern, he just steadily rose up through the ranks, scouting and whatnot and whatever. And he got on the bench as an assistant coach. And then that's where it all started. So he's paid dues, man. You know what I mean? That's not even what I'm worried about. You know what I'm saying? When I'm eager to, like I said, my concern is, will they let him do what's necessary to build this thing the way he feel he needs to build it so they can be successful. You know what I mean? And what I mean by that is the way he would emphasize defense. Certain players that were here for the past few years, especially last season, that didn't really take that end of the floor serious, they may not be here next year unless they have some drastic improvement. You know what I mean? And that also should be a telltale sign what they will be eyeing in the draft. Like now, if you bringing a coach who's defensive minded. And for people, I want them to understand, like, look at his Denver years. He was the defensive coach for the Denver Nuggets. When he got there in 2015, they were one of the worst defensive teams in the league. They were 22nd in points allowed. They gave up 105, which was the 2015 season when he first got there. And their defensive rating, they were 24th in the league at 108.9. Compared to last season, I think that was Jokic's rookie year and all that. Yeah, I think that was Jokic's rookie year. So compared that to last season, they were 8th in the NBA in points allowed, giving up 110. And defensive rating, they were 12th in the league with 112.1. You know what I mean? So that shows you the steady decline. They steady climb with the ranks defensively, man. And my thing with that is it comes back to the roster. Now, I know some people was hitting me up talking about, he talking about defense, but look what Chris Paul did to Jokic and them in the playoffs and stuff like that. That's personnel, man. You know what I mean? Like, he can't help that. You know what I'm saying? It's just, look, it ain't like, look, everybody know Jokic's just not a world-class athlete. You know what I'm saying? He's a world-class basketball player, but he's not a world-class athlete. So they played on that. That's about matchups. That's something totally different. But regardless, he helped them improve, and that's all that matters. He's also known as a great player development coach as well. He developed Jamal Murray, Porter, and Jokic became MVP. So that's also key because they have a lot of young talent on here that have a lot of potential that they're going to need to try to, develop. So all in all, I like what I saw, but my main concern is, will they allow him to do what he need to do, and without having all these voices in the background, controlling things or whatnot, because we all know that's stuff that's leaked out of Wizards camp where that's been a problem, in past years, man. So just give him a fair shot to do what he need to do. That's the least they can do.
Right.
Yeah, it's a great hire, and just to echo Cardell, I mean, there's no use bringing a guy in with this wealth of experience and you getting in his way. You hired him for a reason, so you gotta lean on him and let him do what he does. So, and that way, if the results are positive, then kudos, and if they're not, then that's a conversation to be had. But that I think that will be that'll be a travesty if he comes in and isn't able to really execute his vision uninterrupted. But yeah, man, he's definitely experienced. He's definitely been through the rigors of working his way up to this point. And during his last tenure here, he was he helped the Wizards be successful before. Like he was here during those Gilbert years, when they were making the playoffs and doing real well. So he's got a history of success with the franchise, and then noting what he did in Denver, success seems to follow him. So I think it was a great decision to bring him back. Even from an aesthetic standpoint, his dad's the greatest player in franchise history. So they got that history and that tie in there. So that should bring some life back into the building, so to speak. And on top of what he's able to do professionally, which is of course is the most important thing. This is not we're just hiring him because he's Wes Unseld's son type thing. He's a guy that knows what he's doing, and the fact that he emphasizes defense, I think that will that's a place where this team needs a shot in the arm. To put it lightly, they were horrendous on that side of the floor last year and the year before. Just being perfectly honest, and if he's able to correct that or make some strides that way, they lost a lot of games last year because they couldn't stop anybody. Offense is not the problem. So that should help, in the win-loss column off rip, if he's able to come in and make an impact on that side of the ball. So yeah, man, it's it's good to see the franchise making intelligent decisions. The search was taking a little long, but they got their guy, and that's a good thing. So I'm just excited to see what he can do, and hopefully it works out for him.
Yeah, for me, I don't have too much to add for you guys. Said it was a good hire, but like my whole thing is, right now it's just words being said. Gotta wait till this stuff goes to action. Like I'm
Yeah,
happy that Brad and Russ already talked to him. They're okay. They're on the same page, and that's great. My whole thing is I need to see both of you on the same page defensively consistently to lead this group. That's what I want to see. I could care less about all these words
that's what he
as of
said.
right now because like it's just words. Like we just saw with Team USA and they backcourt going through some things. Like it's cool when you're like, hey, I don't got to score as much. I could put more effort towards defense. But if you don't do it on a regular basis, that effort is just effort and useless, and people still going to do what they need to do. So, one of the things like Cardell mentioned, I like was talking about. Maybe it kind of gives you an idea of what they're looking at as we approach the draft. Like one of the things that Denver sorely missed this year was when Jeremy Grant went to Detroit. He was somebody who did a lot of things in their front court, especially on the defensive end as a Swiss Army knife. And yeah, his offensive game, grew the more time he spent in the league. But in Denver, primarily we saw what he was there to do, and he played a huge role for them. So one of the things is obviously the Wizards do not have an all-world big like Jokic. What they do have is a couple bouncy bigs in TB and Daniel at the moment. We'll see what else they add. So I mean, there's a couple things here where you can build a solid defense, but the bottom line is starts with your leaders in that backcourt. I could care less about everybody else. Those two have to set the tone on the end of the floor, and everybody else will follow. That's just me personally, but as of right now, like it's cool. It's a good hire. But yeah, just for me, just all press conference, man. It's a lot of words. Got to wait for it to start happening. And we'll see if those same words match as we get, by the time we get to training camp in terms of who's here, who's not here, all that type of stuff. There's a lot of time left between now. I know it's a shortened off season, but there's a lot of time left between now and opening night of preseason. You know what I'm saying? Of training camp. There's a lot to go. Just a reminder, we'll be doing a draft show on the 29th. I'm going to get to a couple of these comments if folks don't have anything else. So we'll start here.
Yeah. Thank you, Wilson. I'll take it from here. Yeah, we wanted to keep Brooks. We stand on that. But you think we're going to be the other media outlets talking heads and just say, oh, yeah, change our mind? I don't understand how hiring Wes Unseld Jr. has anything to do with us wanting to keep Scott Brooks. He got him to the playoffs dealing with hell. No practice, no summer league, really no training camp. Relying on second-year forward, a rookie to come in and help change things around. Russ playing on one leg for half a year. You know what I'm saying? And to be honest, had they not made that trade for Gafford, I don't think they make the play. Matter of fact, they don't make the playoffs. He changed a lot for them because of their defensive woes. He cleaned up a lot of things, especially when TB went down. You know what I mean? So with TB, yeah, Thomas Brown went down. Forgot about that part of it. So yeah, we felt like he deserved another opportunity. They said contract off, talks stalled or whatever. Who knows, man, whatever. But here's the thing: right after he got fired, he was interviewed by contenders, the Lakers. And then he eventually took the job with the Portland Trail Blazers, who are, have their issues, but they're in a much better state than what the Wizards currently are. So, and he didn't go there just to be in the fourth assistant. He went there to be the top assistant to help Chauncey Billups with his growth and stuff and becoming a head coach for the first time. So he's a quality coach. And I get it. The defense hasn't been on par, but is that on him or on the players? Because in OKC, his best defensive teams were in OKC, where he had players that bought in and were hungry to get it done on that end. So at some point, it can't just be about the coaching. It got to be about the players on the floor. So, yeah, we're going to keep that same energy. I don't even understand why you even mentioned that comment. You know what I'm saying? You just being sensitive and stuff like that from the season, man. You still in your feelings for whatever reason, man. But, hey, man, have at it, man. The CVS down the street, man. Go get the maxi pads and help yourself, man.
Next comment we got from Mace Johnson. Good hire. Need to control Westbrook mentally through games, I guess is what he's trying to say. And I guess my whole thing is this once again. Russ is who he is. Russ is a grown man. Russ is a vet in this league. He's on year 13 or 14. There are things coaches can control. There are things coaches cannot control. the higher the rank is, regardless of the sport, once you start dealing with folks that make 2, 3, 4 times the amount that you make, yeah, man. There again, like I said, those two are the leaders, period. And we heard Wes talking about the buy-in. It starts with them two. So it's like at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what he says if they don't buy all the way in. And that's it's corny, it's cliche, it's simple. That's what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel the same way, man. He's a vet, and this is the first year head coach, man. And look, you gotta let Russ be what he is. You just gotta coach him to the best of his ability. And it's not like he's uncoachable. You know what I mean? He may make some bad decision at times, but what coach don't? I mean, what player don't? So you can't really look at him like that, man. But he's never been the type where, but he's just gonna go off the handles and not really listen, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't think that's I think they understand what's at stake, man. They understand they're at a pivotal point, especially Brad, Russ. They're at a pivotal point. They got to see if this works. So all hands got to be on deck. Everybody got to work together. Otherwise, big changes will be made. Let's just say that, not just small changes. Big changes will have to be made because it just won't work, man. And, it'll be a tough beginning for Wes Unseld Jr. He deserves better because he done paid a lot of dues, a lot of it. So it's just counterproductive to work against the head coach, man. I've never been that type of dude. Even when I play, it's just stupid, man. If you disagree with something, talk to him behind closed doors like a professional, and then y'all come to a common ground and come out better for it. You know what I mean? Instead of just doing your own thing. And I hope that's not what this guy is trying to say. Ace, I hope that's not what he's trying to say. But mentally means, and it could go a lot of ways saying mentally. And I know you ain't talking about mental toughness because he's a rusted dog, so he gonna be there ready to compete. So I doubt you're talking about that. But if you're talking about decision making here and there, you gotta live with take the good with the bad, man. You know what I'm saying? Look, he ain't the only one that make bad decisions. We watching one in the finals right now who's all world, make a few bad decisions. So I'm more concerned with him, like Wilson said, playing standout defense and making way more good decisions than bad decisions. You know what I'm saying? Because the good he brings far outweigh the bad. And you just go from there. But if he bring in on defense, obviously doing his triple-double thing, man, we can live with it. It is what it is.
Yeah, and I guess like a perfect example, and obviously they're not the same player. The Bucks are perfectly happy with Drew having those horrible shooting nights because of the energy he's given on the defensive end. Mm-hmm. And obviously, I'm not saying Russ is about to be Drew Holiday defensively, but what I am saying is you're one of the more freakier athletes in the league. Both him and Brad have the body types to be better on that end of the floor, night in and night out. That's all we're simply saying. It'd be one thing if they physically couldn't do it. They can. So it's just about doing it. And again, leading the youngsters on that end of the floor. I don't care about the offense. They got more than enough of that stuff.
And Russ actually does do it. He just gets undisciplined. You know what I'm saying? Because I remember like one game against Milwaukee, he switched on Giannis and actually did a good job on Giannis, one-on-one. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? So he's willing and he can do it. It's just when he become undisciplined, gambling and stuff, and you can't do that with a team that's already bad defensively. Now it's really gonna be a bucket. Bill was just lackadaisical. But what I saw from USA before, obviously,
capable
situation, it was a complete difference. So I know for sure he can play defense. So now I'm like, we need that going forward. Like anything else, I'm like, yeah, you set a high standard. So now, if you can't hide behind, man, I gotta score 30 for my team. No. Because there's been plenty of players that scored 30 with all NBA defensive team members and stuff like that, 25 plus. So, and I know Bill's driven to want to be in that conversation. So that's what it takes.
And again, we saw it. Go ahead, Ray.
Get a few more stops. You don't got to score 30.
Yeah,
you can shave a couple off that.
Exactly.
Hey, look, smooth 25 in exchange for 7 more W's, man. Like, I mean, it's simple. All right, but going on to another one, we got happy to hear what he said about Denny. In my opinion, he perfectly fits his game. Guess he's talking about Coach Wes. Denny can really benefit under him. Ray, you can start off with this one if you want.
I mean, we talked about Denny last year at the draft show and really all throughout the season, until he was injured. He's got a a ton of upside, and he's young. He's a very young kid, but he's already got professional experience. But with his skill set, of course he can flourish in the NBA. He just needs to get some more experience. Work on his body a little bit. He does need to make some strides defensively, but yeah, I think he'll be okay. Especially with a guy like Wes, who is as Cardell pointed out, who is known to be able to develop players. So I do think he's in a good spot. Hopefully he can come back, 100% healthy and hit the ground running. But yeah, man, he just needs the opportunity. Even from the little bit that we saw from him last season, of course he made some mistakes. He's a rookie, that's gonna happen. But there were flashes. So hopefully those instances just become more commonplace.
Carter, did you want to chime in?
Yeah, but then people gotta keep reminding themselves he didn't have a summer league. Like he hit the ground running, like they threw him literally in the fire, like it's burning inferno. Figure it out. You see what I'm saying? So it was rough. And the thing I liked about him, he's competitive. Like he didn't really bend, and he just kept fighting. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing until obviously he got hurt. But I mean, yeah, he's about to be in his second year, man. He, like you said, he showed flashes of all right. He could be 15 to 20 point scorer, 6 to 10 rebound guy with a few assists. He can be that guy and be efficient. You know what I'm saying? So, and at 6'9", he has versatility where he can guard either forward spot. You know what I'm saying? Depending on the matchup and whatnot. So, I mean, he has a word of potential, like Wes said. It's just a matter of demanding that he reach it. Continuing to work, just like Rui. It was similar questions about Rui after his first year. When he had summer league. Look what he did last year. It was different now. So now you're looking at him like, all right, add another, possible 20 point per game dude, 28 type dude next year. You counting on him to be that type of guy to go with Russ and Bill. You see what I'm saying? Which will make a huge difference. Along with TB getting healthy and coming back, Daniel Gafford coming back better, certain guys coming back better. So we'll see, man. But it all depends on who they keep too, because as we stated before, the salary is. The salary cap ugly right now.
Decisions will be made. From the Awesomes, there's a possibility we can go get Jeremy Grant. I came late if you talked about it already. I feel like Jeremy Grant, Troy Weaver considers him a building block in what they're trying to do in Detroit. So I don't foresee him leaving unless you're about to give up
a lot.
One of those, one of the guys out your backcourt. So. If not, mortgage your future for picks, and I don't think there's any reason to do that. So,
yeah, bro, they can't afford him, bro. No. He might have to take a loan too. He might have to get a loan, bro. I gotta take that salary cap.
Yeah, because this isn't a team that's worth jumping into the tax for. Like, if you want to jump into the tax, this ain't it. Not yet.
And also, Jeremy Grant has to want to play home. A lot of guys don't want to play here for, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to get too deep into it. I can't blame them. There's a lot that come with it outside just hooping. So if he say no, what's the point of trading for a disgruntled player? You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying I know. I'm just saying. He was a free agent once upon a time. He had any choice. He chose Detroit.
Yeah, and that's the other fun part. Again, keep that in mind. Like maybe a Jeremy Grant type when we look in – at the draft prospects. Keep that in mind. Like, it's great. I don't think you get Jeremy Grant, but you might get somebody with some similar traits to Jeremy Grant because there's some of those things out here. We'll see what happens. This flows into this next question. Thoughts on who we could draft in 9 days? I know we're going to get deeper into this later on, but I'm going to let you guys just throw out maybe 2 to 3 names each. Then we get a couple more questions. We get out of here. Ray, the floor is yours. How about that, buddy? You knew I was going to you first. Just a couple names. You don't even have to. I don't need a like a backstory and to justify it. Just a couple names.
I mean, I'm just trying to think about what they need and who would be there at their pick. So if they picking 15th?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Whichever one of them Baylor kids is there.
Starting there.
snatched him up. Yeah.
I ain't mad at it. All right, one more. Well, technically that counts as two. All right, Cardell, I'll let you off the hook, right? Whichever one of the Baylor kids is there at 15, take him and keep it moving. Go ahead, Cardell.
Well, if you're gonna go with the guard, man, you need a dynamic wing to kind of balance things out with you need a dynamic wing to balance things out to help Russ and Bill score the ball, make plays. And this drive deep with him, man. You could look at when we had one come here and work out, Josh Christopher. You could look at him. Bones Highland from VCU. You could look at I think Davion Mitchell may be in that range. I don't know if he gets snatched up earlier. It's a chance. I know people saying Corey Kisper from Gonzaga is a good, is a good fit, but to me, he's more of he's athletic, but he's more of a shooter. I don't know how well he is defensively. Obviously, the championship game ain't help his case on that end. And Wes Unseld is, like I keep saying, he emphasized defense. You gotta be able to stretch from UConn. He's a dynamic guy. Sometimes guys' games fit better in the pros than they do in college. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But you see where I'm going with it. If you're going with a guard or a wing, you need somebody that could do a lot of things, man. Because when one of those guys goes to the bench, you still want to have the ability to have that same type of impact with two of them on the floor. You know what I mean? If you're going with a big man, with Thomas coming back, that's kind of, if he's still Thomas Bryant along with Gafford and Rui, if you want to get a big man, at least get an athletic footer that knows what just run, like similar to Gafford, rebound, block shots, dunks, puts people in the basket. And, Texas got one. What's his name? I keep forgetting his name. Kai Jones, you got him.
What's that? Jericho Sims.
Yeah, all right, but man, what he been doing in these damn combine, I don't even know if he gonna be. And another wing from I don't know how I forgot about him from the area, played the Boo Williams to Oak Hill, Cam Thomas. That's another one that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying? Like it's a lot of those dudes, So you see where I'm going with it, man. You need guys that can come in for the road, but I think because of Thomas Bryant, they hit a home run with Gafford. I think that was kind of like in a sense their draft pick. As far as bigs go. So you need another dynamic wing that maybe he don't start right away, but he can come off the bench and be kind of a Lou Williams type of Jamal Crawford, come out, get buckets, you know what I'm saying, but still play solid defense and hold it down, which takes pressure off Brad having to, score 30. You can take Russ out and he can still facilitate. I'm talking about the rookie, he maybe can facilitate, do things like that. It makes your team more versatile. So, we'll probably go with a versatile wing. Is what I'm leaning toward.
Yeah, you guys pretty much covered it. So I'm gonna cheat. I'm just gonna throw some names out and move on. You already named Book Knight if he's there. Moody, Nyland, Kai Jones. There's a couple names, but like you guys said, if it's gonna be a big, make sure it's a big that can guard more than just a 5. That has the athleticism to guard more than just a 5 because you got Gaff, you got TB.
And homie from Illinois.
Yes.
He worked out the same workout with Josh Christopher. So you kind of see what they're looking at.
Yep. Io. Yep. And like you said, so even with the guards, they want to make sure it's enough versatility. You could play the 2 or the 3 physically, where you're not 6'2", you're not stuck at 6'2", unless, like you said, you get one of the Baylor kids. Then we could throw that away. But
matter of fact, they need to get a wing because I'm looking at, all right, let's say next year. I love the Bucks. They on the verge of a championship, but they weren't beating the Nets if they were healthy. They couldn't do it. You're going to need 3 perimeter guys to be able to deal with that one-on-one, and you can't rely on switching. And you still might not have enough, but if you have a fighting chance, you're going to need some guys that can give them blows on offense, give them jabs, get buckets, and also move with them defensively to make them work. And especially for that monster, in small forward, man, you're going to need somebody with some size and versatility in left, man, that can make him work on both ends, and that's hard to find. So, that plays a part in their decision making. You got to see what's out there, who you got to go through as well. And Atlanta, man, they on damn division, man. Cam Reddish and all, DeAndre Hunter and all those guys coming back. Yeah, dog. They
right. Like that might be like the priority at 15.
Yeah, they need that wing.
Get you a versatile wing, immediately, and not one of the ones where in 3 years I can dribble. Nah.
Come on, like if you can't dribble, you ain't winning though. Like you're a small power forward, dog. You a small big. That should be.
Hey, look, I just want to make it perfectly clear because people throw a lot of names. I'm not saying all y'all that's here, but watch a lot of people with different fan bases just throw names out. And I'm like, on the next level, they got to play at this position, and they don't fit the prerequisites to do so. So, again, just little reminders. We're going to get through a couple more of these before we get out of here. We appreciate you guys being active in the comments. Like what he said about playing for Rui because he could be a third option when he's playing for Japan right now. Feel like you guys already covered that. I hear you've been hearing his name a lot. And he's talking about hey, the awesome. Just type back. Who were you talking about? And I get back to it. From Anthony Tony, he was just like Duarte is one of the guys. No,
Awesome.
that's not bad at all. He did come in and work out, and I believe he's one of the guys that had a solo workout. My brain could be jacked up, but I think he had a solo workout. Duarte did. So that's also a possibility. Hold on. Give me 1 second, y'all. We need a power forward. We kind of went through that. Not right. That's not priority. Because of Denny and Rui, that's not a priority. Corey Kispert, defense. Yeah, you need defense right now. Like
he was great. He was great at Gonzaga, like help side. Like he's great at that. I'm just talking about on ball. The NBA ruthless, man. When they don't think you could guard, dog, it's bad, man. They really expose you, man.
Yeah, they just scrap the playbook. Be like whoever he's guarding,
come here,
do your thing, man.
I want him. This is what we running this whole quarter. So
and they gonna set a screen until they get you.
Look,
and he said Ponce as an option is sharing. Hope he keeps the 30 center rotation. Again, going back to the wing might be a priority, guys. Another Caleb Holmesley thing. Not really sure.
Is this to keep that same energy, guy? Keep it.
From the meteor. Appreciate y'all. The Awesomes was talking about Jeremy. Yeah, we've mentioned his name a lot, but not in terms of him coming here. Just like that style, because Wes is coming from Denver. And Cardell was talking about the improvement that Denver made defensively. And I was just saying that Jeremy had to be noted in that improvement. And then when you mentioned this year, that Jeremy wasn't there because he was in Detroit.
Hey, Will Barton, he declined his option.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Can they afford him though?
I know a way.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah, you can get something off the books real quick.
Don't say it. We did good, though. We about to go through a whole.
No. I'm not going to say it. I'm just saying there are avenues that could be exhausted.
That's true.
When they choose.
Yeah, because what was the option he declined? It was like 14 something.
Oh
yeah. That's doable.
So so that's just one of those things. But yeah, that could be a great option.
Yeah, that's a good.
It's home time, but not too home, because where he's from. So and that would solve that problem on the wing, where
if he stay healthy,
Yeah.
Main thing is, but he gonna strap. He can play point. He can play all three guard positions. I mean, all three perimeter positions. So put him in there with Russ and Bill. Yeah.
And if you were able to get him, that buys time for the youngster you get. Like that doesn't mean don't take another one.
Yeah.
Lord knows, double down.
Yes.
But just it gives you time where it's not that much put on the kid. Now the kid's on the second unit with the rest of the kids. So there's nothing wrong with that.
Wes need to be texting real quick. Hey, Will, you home? Let's get up for dinner.
Yeah, man. Go ahead and hit the highway real quick.
Look, I got a whole rotation spot with your name on it.
Hey Wes, I know a perfect restaurant in DC. You ain't even gotta go far. Look, I'll make a call, set it up for you, baby. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean the money's gonna be an issue, but again, like I don't know what Ted's gonna decide to do. If he decides that's his personal goal, if he wants to go into the tax, then maybe they can afford Will Barton. It's none of my business. It's not my money. I don't know what's going to be done. And like I said a little bit earlier, that's there's many avenues that can be exhausted. Some of those avenues ain't none of my business. But just know you'll see my smiling face. If one of those things is exhausted, just know that. I
bro,
might get here by
I seen
myself.
you like that. That's why I do my homeboy like that, man. Said that he gonna be mad as hell. He's like, yeah, we ain't friends anymore. Why you
So
doing that?
even what's it called? Not even Will Barton. Is PJ Dozier up? Is he a free agent right now?
Yeah, we gotta see, but that's
don't know.
still kind of the same boat. I like PJ, but is he ready to be in kind of a leading role at the 3?
No. I'm not saying. I'm just saying as in terms of building the depth and somebody we know
Okay.
will actively defend. Obviously, Will Barton is. If you got a choice between the two, Barton's a priority. But I'm saying from a monetary standpoint, if you
No,
pinch your pennies,
but is Denver willing to give him up? You know what I'm saying? Like they big on the young prospects.
now that's what I was saying. I was asking, was he a free agent?
Oh, let me see.
That's what. No, yeah, my bad. That's why I was asking, was he a free agent? I didn't know. You see, if maybe there was opportunity to run in and snatch them up. If not, yeah. The Awesomes put Terrence Ross. Dog, that's the one old person that they kept in Orlando, so he's there. They got rid of every old person.
But y'all feel us, yeah. But you understand what we're saying?
But I
Like
like
he's
it.
definitely a flamethrower for real.
All right, Jasino 6 came out here. It was like need to try to get Torrey Craig. But yeah, so you guys kind of see where we're talking about, where we going, and yeah. So like the reason Craig could work somewhere else because somewhere else is they're already a step or two further than here.
PJ
Here
Dozier.
ain't it? So
Let me see what his contract. Yeah, he been in the league 4 years. Let me see. So
because I was thinking it was about that time for him. I'm not sure though.
you might be right. Hold on.
But again, like you guys are getting it. Those are the type of guys we talking about. Those types of wings.
Hold on, give me 1 second. 3 years.
Are you good?
When did he sign it? They said
Those are definitely the type of guys, y'all. That we're all on the same page. So I know when we'll do the draft show on the 29th, you guys tune in, whatever. We'll still continue talking to you guys. Watch the draft with you and whatnot. You said after the season?
Yeah, this is like one more year.
Almost.
Hey, look,
He'll be an unrestricted free agent 2022.
well, depending how things go, and I don't know, because if he takes a leap, he's not leaving Denver. So,
and that's probably what they got in mind if they don't resign Will. So yeah, I can.
Yep.
I mean, we can get Connolly. I mean, look, you from the area. If you don't want Bobo, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, folks had their chance, but don't like second round picks around these parts.
That guy's gone.
Second round picks are for losers.
He should have been here to begin with, but what do you know?
Like I said, my all-time favorite cash consideration is winning 6th Man of the Year this year. But even then, those are the type of wings we talking about. Like even Clarkson, the type of wings. Somebody asked, "Wow, y'all pulling some names out here tonight." Yeah, the Torrey Craig site and Andre Roberson.
You got to score, baby. You got to be able to put the ball to basket.
Not at the moment. Like I think what they need more so than anything, because even like in a little while, you're waiting to see where Denny and Rui and what they become, and they do have size. You need that piece that can slide in between right now, between the backcourt, play 3 in a smaller lineup or whatever. Be another like a legit ball handler and facilitator, and be able to get a bucket and also strap. So you got the good thing is this draft has several options. It just what's there at 15, man. Because other teams need those too.
Go ahead.
It's
not your team. We just saw one that beat this team in the playoffs, Philly. Ben Simmons has everything, but he won't shoot the ball. And what did that do? It hurt him. It hurt him greatly. So, they can't afford that because then he's gonna be a liability offensively, and it puts even more pressure on Russ and Bill. My thing is get a wing that can take pressure off of them in every way.
Yep.
So then, especially Russ. So Russ can save those legs for when they making that playoff push and playoff mode, so he can do his thing. You gotta start thinking like that, man, because Russ don't know how to not play hard. So if this wing is producing and the Wizards are up early, they're beating teams early, he gets a chance to rest that helps you in the the long haul throughout the season, and especially during the dog days. And that's what you got to kind of look at, man. But yeah, you kind of need somebody that can do it all.
And another perfect example, and again, I'm gonna say this slowly. I want nobody to get carried away and take this the wrong way. We've seen this in the past where Russ, at a time of OKC, there was another ball handler where Russ was able to play alongside another ball handler, and it worked. Another facilitator, it worked. Need that type of style. Ain't nobody saying James Harden is here to be drafted. We're just saying something like Cardell saying, someone who can do everything offensively except need you to slide your feet on the defensive end. But again, like that type offensively, being able to let those two play off ball, it'll make a world difference for both of them. At times, it'll definitely make it harder for defenses to track them if they're off ball at times.
Mhm.
But with the way they both moving, so we'll see how it's going, man. We appreciate y'all. I don't think there's any more comments or questions. So thanks for hanging out with us for a little bit. So we'll definitely be back July 29th. For the draft. We'll be at Oohs and Ahs knocking that out. So as you get closer, just follow Focus TV on whatever social media you guys are following us on currently, and you'll find out the time for July 29th. But again, we'll watch the draft with you. Cardell and Ray will break down prospects as they get drafted. I think we'll probably watch the first round with you guys because they be taking their time. So it's up to the NBA and how fast they move in that night. We might be able to get through the first round, or it might just be through the lottery. We'll see where it goes. But we look forward to that. And, in between picks or whatever, we'll definitely check the comment section. So y'all have a great night, and we'll get back at y'all for those of you that watch Focus TV. See you tomorrow night at 8 p.m.